Hello, my wonderful friends, and welcome back to the Babysitters here, where every day brings a little fun and a little magic. Today we're reading a story called Fletcher and the Falling Leaves. It's perfect for fall. It's about a fox who can't understand why his favorite tree is losing all of its leaves. So, get comfortable, cozy up, open your ears, and let's get ready for story time. Fletcher and the Falling Leaves by Julia Rawlinson and Tiffany Beek, courtesy Graphic Publishers. The world was changing. Each morning when Fletcher bounced out of the den, everything seemed a little bit different. The rich green of the forest was turning to a dusty gold, and the soft swishing sound of summer was fading to a crinkly whisper. Fletcher's favorite tree was looking dull, dry, and brown. Fletcher, visiting it every day, was beginning to get worried. "I think my tree is ill," said Fletcher. "What's wrong with it?" asked Mummy. "Its leaves are turning brown," said Fletcher. "Don't worry, it's only autumn," smiled Mummy. Fletcher trotted back to his tree and patted the rough bark. "Don't worry, it's only autumn," he said. "You'll soon be feeling better." But the tree didn't get better. Day by day, it got browner still. One day, as Fletcher sat under the tree, the wind began to blow. A small brown leaf blew off the tree and drifted towards the ground. Fletcher jumped up and caught it very gently in his paw. "Don't worry, tree, I've got your leaf. You'll soon be fixed," said Fletcher. He looked around, scratched his head, and picked a piece of grass. He carefully tied the leaf to its branch and happily sat down. Just then, another gust of wind ruffled Fletcher's fur. The little leaf shook itself free and fluttered back to the ground. Fletcher picked it up again and thought very hard. Then he poked the leaf onto a twig and pushed it firmly down. "Now you hold on tight," said Fletcher sternly. "No more flying around." The little leaf gave a tiny rustle in reply. The next day, a strong wind was blowing through the forest. Fletcher rushed out of the den and ran all the way to his tree. Lots of its branches were brown and bare, and little lost leaves whirled everywhere. "Don't worry, tree," he called in alarm. "I'll catch them for you, I promise." Round and round and round whirled Fletcher after the twirling leaves. "Leaves! Wonderful! Just what I need for my nest," said a squirrel, scampering up. "But these leaves belong to the tree," said Fletcher. "Don't take them away." "The tree doesn't need them anymore," said the squirrel, and off he bounded. "Help! Help! The wind and the squirrel are stealing our leaves!" cried a frantic Fletcher. "Leaves! Marvelous! Just what I need to keep warm," said a hedgehog, rolling around. "But these belong to the tree," said Fletcher, plucking leaves from the hedgehog's prickle. "Not any more," snuffled the hedgehog, and away he rolled. "Help! The wind, the squirrel, and the hedgehog are stealing our leaves!" cried a frenzied Fletcher. This time, a flock of friendly birds swooped down from the sky. They picked the leaves up in their beaks and poked them onto the leaves' branches. Soon the tree was leafy again, and Fletcher flopped down and smiled. Thank you, birds," he gasped as the birds fluttered and chirped away. He lay looking up through the leaves at the sky and drifted off to sleep. But still the wind continued to blow, and still the branches danced. The leaves shivered and shook themselves and began to wiggle free. They tossed and turned and twitched and twirled and tumbled to the ground. They brushed Fletcher's ears and nose and filled his dreams with a whispering sound. When Fletcher finally blinked awake, he couldn't believe his eyes. Instead of a roof of dancing leaves, he could see bare branches against the sky. "Oh, tree, I am so sorry," gulped Fletcher. "All your leaves are gone." But then he saw, high in the branches, one small leaf still holding on. "I won't let the wind steal that one," said Fletcher, and he began to climb. He wriggled along to the last leaf and held it firmly onto its branch. All day long the wind blew. The branch bounced and Fletcher held tight. "I'll stay with you, leaf," he gasped. "Don't worry that all your friends have gone." But then with a sudden whoosh of the wind, the branch bounced high. With a whispered plip, the leaf let go and fluttered like a little flag, clutched in Fletcher's paw. Fletcher looked sadly at the leaf, the tree's last leaf he had promised to save. He carried it carefully down the tree and all the way back to the den. He made it a cozy little bed and gently tucked it in for the night. But all night long, he could only think of his tree all on its own. At first light, he tiptoed out into the chilly dawn. The wind had finally stopped blowing, and the air was damp and cold. The moon still hung in the clear sky, and pale stars glimmered. As he came to his favorite tree, Fletcher saw a magical sight. The tree was hung with 1,000 icicles, shining silver in the early light. "You are more beautiful than ever," whispered Fletcher to the tree made of ice. "Can the squirrel and the hedgehog keep your leaves for the cold winter nights?" A tiny breeze shivered the branches, making a sound like laughter. And in the light of the rising sun, the sparkling branches nodded. Fletcher didn't understand why his tree was changing, but in the end, he grew to understand why every season is beautiful in its own way. It's a really nice reminder that sometimes, even though things can seem sad or they're changing, usually something wonderful is right around the corner. Now we're going to go to Craft Corner and make a Thanksgiving turkey out of leaves that maybe fell from our tree. For this project, you'll need some brown paper. I'm reusing a grocery bag. You'll need some glue, scissors, a marker, construction paper, and some leaves. I live in a neighborhood without a lot of leaves on the ground, so I am using some prefabricated ones. First, I cut out a head and then a body for my turkey out of that brown paper, and I attached them to another piece of paper. I drew on some eyes, then I cut out a little beak. I attached it, a little wattle. That's what that red thing is called, wattle. And I attached that. Then I stuck in the leaves to be the turkey feathers. You can do it however you see fit, whatever looks pretty to you. And then you'll have a Thanksgiving turkey with autumn leaves for feathers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun. I know I did too, and I can't wait to see you back here the next time.